Hi, Emily Cleghorn here. Welcome to the second part of how to make a simple baby blanket. In today's video, we will be finishing the quilt top. Okay, so I have my row here all completed. All of my rows are completed. So the next step is to iron the seams so that they're laying flat, so that when we sew the rows together that they nest really well. So I'm just going to use my iron and press them down. Like so. And we'll do that all along here. Okay, so I have two rows ironed. The seams are ironed. They're ready to be pinned together and sewn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay, this is row 11 and row 12 of my quilt top. I'm going to flip over row 12 and lay it on top of row 11 and line up my seams as best as I can. Some of them are a little bit off, but that's okay. And then I'm going to get some straight pins and I'm going to pin it. And I'm going to pin it on the seam just to hold the part that I pressed down as well. Just a little extra support. Okie dokie, see you at my sewing machine. All right, so we are ready to sew together these two rows that I had just pinned. So I'm going to put them on there, push the start button, and I'm using stitch number 1 again. So a neat feature with this sewing machine is when I'm using the push button start, I can determine how fast I want my stitch. So I can pick up the speed or I can slow it down. Really depends on what I'm working on. If it's a straight run like this, I'll go a little faster. If it's something more tricky, like a circle, I tend to slow it down. looks like I need to pause just for a second. Straighten that up a little. And we'll push. Start again. Pick up where we left off. And we'll back stitch. Hit our scissors. Alrighty, so there's 2 rows put together. So now what I'm going to do is iron row 10 and put it on the other side of row 11, and then that 3-row group will be complete. So how I'm doing this quilt is I'm sewing 3 rows together, so I will have 4 larger pieces, and then I will construct those together. I'm not really sure why I'm doing it that way. It just seemed easier when I decided to do it that way. Alrighty. Okay, so I have my rows all sewn together in groups of 3. Now what I need to do is take my groups of 3 and sew them together. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did to sew the rows together. I'm going to pin the 3 rows together and sew them. So this is row 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to turn it over like so. And make sure that my squares are lined up as best I can get them. Okay, I'm going to grab my straight pins and I'm going to pin them together. So if you're new to quilting, my best tip that I could give you is to make sure that you label your pieces as you go. That will make it easier for you when you're putting everything together. It'll save on the headache of trying to remember what you were doing, because not many people can finish, I don't know if anybody can, finish a quilt top in one sitting. It takes quite a bit of work. I mean, I suppose it would depend on the size of the quilt you were making too. All right, so I have that all pinned. I'll see you at my sewing machine. Alrighty, here we go. Put it under there, put my pedal down, and push the start button. And again, I'm using stitch number 1. Okay, I'm just going to stop it for a second, make sure that my fabric is lined up good, and push start again. One of the benefits of push button start, you can start and stop when you need to, just like using a foot pedal. gonna stop just to make sure that this end is lined up well. Okay, and it is, so I can keep going. Almost to the end here. Okay, we're gonna back stitch. And scissors. Looked at that. Okay. So we have half of a quilt. So I'm going to sew the other two together, 2 groups of 3 together to make another half. And then when we come back, we'll be sewing our halves together. All right, so we have our 2 halves pinned together. So now all that's left to do is sew them together. So same as before. Oh, I have a pin stuck on my shorts. Okay. Okay, we're gonna stop and straighten our fabric again. Make sure this is back stitch. And there we have it. Okay, so there we have it, our completed quilt top. In the next video, we will, I will show you how I'm going to do the backing and create the binding strips, and then we will make our sandwich. Thanks for sewing with me. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified when new videos come on weekly. Have a great day. Bye.